put that hammer down.
Yeah, no.
Bad call. He loves his hammer.
You want me to put the hammer down?
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my new Bleed Hammerdin Paladin, already pushing 550 corruption. As always, I will show you every single facet of the build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. Now what you're looking at right now is my Bleed Hammerdin Paladin, again already over 550 corruption. And I just want to say right at the beginning of this, we are not using the skill Volatile Reversal. I know this has become a staple for Sentinel, but since it's getting a completely new skill tree for Season 2, we are pulling it out of Season 1 builds. So if you're wondering why you don't see Volatile Reversal, that is well. We are using Hammer Throw, Sigils, Smite, Holy Aura, and Lunge. And watch when we get a little groove going here. Let me see if I can. We got a bunch of hammers out. One pack, 550 corruption, dead. Next pack, oh, this is perfect. Dead. And you just lunge from pack to pack. On big targets, which I'll show you once we do the boss fights, you can hit over 1,000 stacks of bleed. It's very, very simple. And it's interesting. You could be melee and you can be ranged because the hammers have a decent distance that they go out. Whoa. All right, we got, who's this? The Wraith Lord right here at the end. And this build is focused on damage over time. This is a dot bleed build. Dead. Let me show you some single targets. Fully empowered, 550 corruption nemesis, and it's everybody's favorite, the poison nemesis. So I'm gonna try and just stand right in front of him, and hopefully my dots kill him before his dots kill me. Nemesis out. Spam, spam, spam. Oh, we totally got this. Totally got it. And the bleeds smoked. Shade of Orbis. Lightning Shade of Orbis. Again, we can kind of face tank. You take a lot of damage, but you leech it back so fast. As long as it's not a big hit, you are good. Here it comes. Shade kill threshold. Dead. Emperor of Corpses. This is one of my favorite fights for hammers because obviously Emperor of Corpses has a huge hitbox. So this is where we get 1,000 bleed stacks pretty easy on the Emperor. As you can see at the top, 999 plus bleed stacks. Gets absolutely eaten alive. Now this fight can be a little more difficult. This is the T10 500 corruption Harbinger from the Emperor of Corpses. I just wanted to show what this hammer build can do. And to be clear, you can die at this fight. You take 2 or 3 hits in a row. You kind of got to be nimble and jump around. Oh, that was close. And Harbinger. We got kill threshold with Lunge. You are dead. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's break down the skills for our Bleed Hammer Paladin. I'll try and point you in the right direction on what you want to take first. Now for this, first thing you want to do is come up here and get poison resistance and cleanses ailments. That way you have a lot more survivability, especially when you're fighting that poison nemesis. You then want to come down and take this tree here. This is going to be physical damage, throwing attack damage, but most importantly, throwing attack speed and chance to gain haste. Now you will have so many hammers out that 9% chance to gain haste might as well be 100% chance. You're going to be running fast a lot of the time when you have your hammers. You then want to come to the right here, and these nodes are actually based upon your gear. So if you don't have enough elemental resistance or endurance, you could move these points around. Over here we have attack speed and cast speed, and then the final points that I had, or 1 point, I put it in call to arms. So Holy Aura, you have some options. I recommend Poison and Cleanse, and then come down here and get your throwing notes. Moving over to Hammer Throw. Hammer Throw, first thing you want to do is come up and over, and you want it where hammers orbit you and spiral. So that's how we're actually getting that motion of the hammers. You then want to come over here and make more hammers, extra projectiles, and bring down the cost. You then want to come straight down and get multiplicative damage, and projectile speed is slower, which actually kind of helps you because they hit the same enemies. They kind of travel very slow. We then take a boost to attack speed, and the final point I have here, I put an armor shred chance. Moving over to Sigils of Hope. For Sigils of Hope, first thing you want to do is come over here to the right, get your endurance threshold, your duration, and your extra sigil. You then want to come to the left, get your bonus damage and chance to summon sigils on kill. You're going to be killing so many enemies, especially late game, that 6% will trigger quite often. You then want to come to the right and get your boost to block chance and block effectiveness. Now, the final 2 points here, I've made it where I manually cast sigils, so the only time it automatically goes off is this 6%. So I actually like the 30% cast speed, so I can get the 4 sigils up quick. But you can put those 2 points wherever you want. Moving over to Smite. Now, Smite's interesting. We do not use this for damage in any way. What we do use this for is blinding. Enemies that are blinded cannot critically strike, which means blinding an enemy gives you 100% critical strike avoidance. Smite is literally going off every second, and every enemy you hit will be blinded. So we are blinding enemies with our Smite. We are getting a boost to our attack speed. We are also cleansing ailments, so a 30% chance, which will be happening all the time, and boosting your mana regen. So just know, again, Smite is more of a utility skill. Cleansing, mana regen, increase attack speed, and blind, and automated. Last but not least, Lunge. This is our movement skill. First thing you want to do is come up and over and get an extra charge. You then want to come up and get kill threshold, which you saw me using during those boss fights, including triggering smites. Then we're going to come down here. So Lunge is also like a potion. When you hit an enemy, if you have missing life, it'll give you 40% of your life back. And then we take block chance and invulnerable. So when you move, you don't have to worry about taking any damage. Those are the skills. So now let's break down the passives. At time of recording, I am level 100, so all points are in, and we're going to start in the base tree, which we actually have a lot into. So we've taken strength, resistances, we are boosting our block and block effectiveness, damage reduction nearby enemies, life and being able to lunge more, and then we need 5 extra points in this part of the tree in order to get the 5 up here for the boost to attack speed. You want these hammers to get out as fast as possible, so you definitely want Blade Master. And the 5 points we put is right here. This is increased damage, stun avoidance, and increased stun immunity duration. Now, if you don't care about stun avoidance, you could put 5 points into here for just added vitality, but I like the stun avoidance. The choice is yours. Now, moving over to Paladin, you are also going to have an option. You want 8 points into conviction, but these 17 points, weirdly, you can put those wherever you want in the intro of the tree. There's not a lot of good stuff in the beginning of Paladin. So you could put 7 here if you need necrotic resistance. My necrotic resistance is maxed, and we don't care about healing effectiveness, so I didn't want to put the 7 points there. So I just took 150 life, stun avoidance, and block effectiveness, and then I just put 2 points into endurance and blind chance. So that blind chance just helps Smite and the 50% blind. So that's the beginning of the tree. Then you jump up here. You want armor with the shield, added block chance. You want to boost up your endurance and base health. These are the main nodes. These are our favorite nodes. This is throwing bleed chance and physical penetration with bleed. These are the main bleed nodes you want in the passive tree. And then we have 12 points into duality, which is health damage and mana. So that's Paladin. Moving over to Forge Guard, we have 5 into Weapons Master, which is bleed chance with an axe, and 3 into Steel, which is going to give us more block and block effectiveness. Now, the final 5 points I have over here, I needed actual void and physical resistance, so I took these 5 points. If you don't need the resistances, you can kind of spread out these points. You can come back over here and reboost your armor, but just know that I put these 5 here because honestly, I needed it, and it helps with resistance in life. Those are the passives. Moving over to last Epoch tools, we're going to break down the blessings, idols, and gear, starting with blessings. Now on here, we're half offensive, half defensive. We're going to take critical strike multiplier, chance to bleed on hit, armor, block chance, and block effectiveness. And you don't have to take this. You have the option of armor percent or block. the choice is yours. And then lightning resistance. If you already have your lightning resistance here, you want to take mana. Moving over to idols. There's only 2 idols you want to find for this build. Chance to cast Smite on a throwing attack. You need 2 of these so that you are manually triggering smites from your hammers and block effectiveness on it. You could also get health. And then on here, increase bleed duration and increase physical damage over time. Those are the only 2 idols you need to hunt for. Now moving over to gear. The reason why people like bleed so much is that EHG has put in so many awesome bleed unique items. And I'm going to show you 4 of them right now. Now none of these items are required to make the build work. They just are best in slot. First thing you want is find Salt of the Wound. What this is going to do is it's going to convert your critical strike multiplier into physical penetration with bleed. You want to find Blood of the Exile, more physical ailment damage to moving enemies and increased bleed duration. Chalice, this is going to be chance to apply bleed on hit and increase bleed duration. Also, this is going to give you leech on your bleed. So all those bleeds are actually going to be leeching damage back to you. Last but not least, Flayer's Pride. Less physical damage taken on block, less physical damage taken overall. Chance to apply bleed on hit and physical penetration with bleed. Absolutely amazing shield. Now I'll go through the other items one at a time. Helmet. Chance for bleed on hit with while wielding an axe and physical increased bleed duration. Same affixes on the chest as on the helmet. Belt. Mana physical double life. Ring, mana, throwing attack speed. Ring, mana, throwing attack speed. Amulet, crit strike multiplier, damage over time. And finally, you want a one-handed axe for this build. We took critical strike multiplier, increased damage over time, chance to apply bleeding on hit, and physical penetration. That is the gear. So now let's talk leveling tips and tricks. This is not a leveling guide, just kind of gets you pointed in the right direction. Now, the main skill you want to use to level with is Rive. This is one of my favorite skills in the game. It is amazing to level with. You could probably get through the entire campaign pretty easily with only Rive. And what you want to do is you want to come down here and go up this tree and get Kill Threshold, which is amazing for a free skill that you're going to be spamming throughout the campaign. You then want to come down here and boost your critical strike chance and critical strike multiplier. So this is the tree right here. Now, the second skill you want to use for leveling, this is a skill that I am slowly falling in love with, is Void Cleave. And Void Cleave you want to turn into a movement traversal skill. Yes, you'll be traversing while killing everything with this big melee attack. And what you want to do is take these nodes here, and you want to make it where it's undodgeable. So these nodes here, this is going to give you max distance and multiplicative damage and bigger area. You could also come up here if you want and get an extra charge so you can use your movement skill more often. Now, the other skills that I recommend, and literally you probably only need Rive and Void Cleave, is Healing Hands. Healing Hands, you could take this node here, Cleric's Hammer, and you'll have a 100% chance to trigger it when you're using Rive. And you can come down here and turn this into a melee attack down at the bottom. The other skill I recommend is Sigils of Hope. And that's because you can just boost your damage overall. You can automate the skill. And honestly, you can. I would actually turn it into an instant cast since you're not going to be spending any mana. So again, more damage, more survivability with Sigils. Rive, Void Cleave, Healing Hands, Sigils of Hope. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my new bleed Hammerdin? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything I could do to take this to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please like, share, and subscribe, only if you think I've earned it. If I haven't earned it, I'm gonna work harder for you. Check out the Patreon, it's the best way to support, and don't forget to join the official Action RPG Discord. I do a game giveaway every 2 weeks for just being a member of my community. We cover all things ARPG. We're kind of the unofficial voice channel for Last Epoch. We do movie nights, game nights. We have a new community event coming up for Last Epoch, April 2nd. Awesome place to hang out. Make sure you join the Discord. I'm done. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.